Welcome back to Bestie Tales. Back, and we've got Chooch back.
Yeah, you guys, it's been a hot minute.
I know.
haven't been here.
I don't even know what happened to the month of May. Well, I think the engagement just threw my entire family off. Yes. Everybody's been thrown off. I've been tired since getting engaged, which I know I don't know what that sounds like, but I'm tired.
I don't know either.
My whole family's been tired.
We're all it's been out of whack in a really interesting way.
I think my mom was like, I just want to let you know that I think everybody in the family has lost 20 pounds since you getting engaged because we were holding on to so much stress.
We were.
And inflammation. I'm like, everybody's looking really good right now. Everyone's less inflamed. I think we're just tired.
I don't know. I did have a mentee B though a couple weeks ago. Well, I always have mentees.
I know. It's like you had one last night about none of your clothes working.
I almost tossed the entirety of my closet off the balcony last night. I'm not even gonna lie.
She comes
we
down.
were just going to sushi.
Yeah. You looked like you were going out on a hot date. I was going for more of the casual look.
Well,
go ahead.
Sue raised me.
Sue, with our mother, Sue, sweet Sue,
with this quote in my head since I was 6. You never know when you're going to meet your future husband.
Truth.
Okay.
She's a truther.
I hear no lies.
Yeah.
Which then turned into, you never know when you're going to meet your future employer. You never know when you're going to meet your future best friend, your future, this, that, the other. So I kind of put a little bit more of a spin on it because I needed to take away the, centering of men.
Yes.
But I have been recently being you just never know when you're going to meet
you never know
your person.
He might have been at the sushi restaurant.
He could have been.
He wasn't. But he could have been.
But if he did, he saw my patchy ass self-tan
Oh my God. Yeah, that's
on
bad.
my back.
She didn't get her back. And you didn't ask anybody.
Because nobody was home
I know,
last
but
week.
We could have done it later that night or something. She had a giant white circle on her back. The tan turned out really good.
Oh,
but there was a giant white circle. So then you couldn't wear specific outfits because you couldn't show your back.
Which then propels me
another
into
spiral.
Separate mentee.
Yeah. All of a sudden last night I hear you and you're like, I just tell me why I don't look good in anything. I don't look good in anything. I'm going to get rid of my entire closet. I just need to get rid of my whole closet.
I need to do another Poshmark haul. Just put a bunch of stuff up and give it to loving hands. And because my hands are not loving.
Yeah, no, they're not loving.
Right
not right now. No. Not right now. It's okay. I had the same breakdown the other day too. But then I started my period. See, and there you have it. Okay. It always refers to where you're at in your cycle.
Been so fun.
Thanks guys. So good to have you here. No kidding.
We figured out everything.
It all comes down to your cycle. It always does. And that's what I said to her last night. I'm like, well, you're on your period. So, and she's like, yeah, but you does it always happen with your cycle? Is it, I'm like, yeah, your body changes throughout your cycle. Even I still have mental breakdowns, but then I'm like, okay, well, I'm about to start my period in a couple days. I need to chill out. It just happens.
So it happened. That's my update.
Yeah, that's it. Is there anything else? I don't know. I've just been tired recently. I don't know.
You know what? I was talking to Mike this morning. We were kind of chatting about this.
Our manager.
We love Mike.
Big Mike.
So fun. And we were just talking about how, at least for you, for me, I'm feeling fine. But you in Reno, there was nothing to do, dude.
No, nothing.
Last night we went to sushi with friends. The day before we were out and about, and then we were on a beer trolley. We went to a baseball game with our family. We're doing so much stuff.
Yeah.
And I just feel like it's so great. It's so fun.
It's a lot though.
But it's so much.
And I have to remind ourselves, myself and all of us, and Nash reminded me of this too, is that we still just moved to Nashville.
100%.
I feel like I should feel settled by now, but it's only been a couple months and it takes years for people, I feel to feel settled when they move across the country. But, and that's why I'm like, why am I tired? I'm like, is it the move? Is something else going on? Where am I at my cycle? It's all these different things. But yeah, you guys, when I tell you that I did nothing in Reno, there was nothing for me to do.
You woke up. Everyone knew Sophia's routine.
Yeah, it was the same.
It was a big deal.
It was a good routine, but yeah, that was my big outing of the week.
Baby's big outing.
Yeah, it's going to Sephora. No, we're doing so much here, and it's so much fun. There's so much to do here. I love it. It's fun. Nashville's great.
Our friends last night looked at us and they're like, "Oh my God, have you been?" And Sophia and I were like, "No."
We haven't been anywhere. Like we've done a lot here, but there's so much to do that I feel like people are like, have you been to this place to eat? Have you been to, I was like, you guys, we
No.
haven't been anywhere. Like, I don't know where to go. Like
We've been everywhere but nowhere.
but nowhere at the same time. Like we're just,
Like,
we've
I'm
only
booked
been
and
doing
busy.
this for 5 fucking
Maddie.
minutes. You been to where?
We've been booked and busy.
Oh yeah, booked and busy.
That's that's Maddie saying booked and busy, baby.
Yeah, we're booked and busy, which is good. But then also I want to be booked in slumber. I'm tired.
Booked and sleeping with a very even tan on my back.
Yeah, that's a start in the right direction. Do you have any updates? I don't have like any updates. I feel like
updates.
I've got nothing. We do have some really good Bestie Tales episodes today.
Totally.
I mean stories to share with you guys today.
Yes.
I'm excited. They're just like girlhood. I just love when you guys share your stories. Like this is so fun for us too, because it really makes you feel so much less
Remember
alone.
how I said, "Where's my phone?" I just felt it.
You felt it?
Yeah.
Yeah. She's like, "Where's my phone?" I'm like, I don't know.
Right there.
I'm like, the way that it was right under your leg,
and this
I can't.
like,
you guys, I actually can't. Living with Nash is one thing because like men are men, right? Like the ketchup bottle's right in front of their face in the fridge, and they're like, "Where's the ketchup? I can't find it." It's like right in front of their fucking face, right? Living with one person who can't find shit is one thing, but having to live with two, you guys, I'm losing it. I'm losing it, babes. I can't do it. Like you guys need to look for longer than 2 seconds.
Love Island starts. What is it?
Oh yeah,
I think it starts today.
I know, but I saw the little promo that they did.
I'm not gonna lie.
I don't know. I always feel this way. Every Love Island. Like if you guys don't watch Love Island UK, what are you doing? What are you doing? The best episodes are honestly the earlier seasons, but
season 5 is goated.
Season 5 is goated. Season 3 is also pretty fucking good too.
It is,
and 6 is good too.
That's the last time that they were like
good.
Shit
yeah, no. The early seasons though, they were fucking all the time. They were smoking.
Chain smoking.
Oh, it was great. It was great. Now it's a lot more modified, but I don't know. I just feel like you always at the beginning of the Love Island, you're like, I don't like them. I don't like them. I don't like this season. And then by like episode 4, you're like, I'm totally hooked.
Okay, yeah, I'm hooked.
Yeah, I'm hooked. I love them. They're my friends. Wait, I'm excited for that. And also we have to finish Vanderpump Rules.
Oh my God.
We have to watch it today.
My TikTok is just absolutely flooded. And it's like, I've already watched the last part
pretty much the last part.
But it is what it is.
Yeah. And also The Valley too. We've been watching The Valley. We're just catching you guys up, I guess, on shows that we're watching. The Valley, which has been airing after Vanderpump Rules. It's with Jax, Brittany, Kristen, which is great to like see them again. But that, honestly, that show is like, it's great entertainment. I'm all for like just horribly amazing reality TV. Totally. Trashy reality TV is my favorite. I find a lot of joy in it. But The Valley is so brutal to watch. So brutal. But I can't stop watching.
That's what I was talking to my friend about. I was talking to my friend Tay about. I was like, I don't know if I'm like liking it. She's like, it is so good and it's so trashy and it's just like
so trashy.
And Jax Taylor is literally the worst human being.
He's the worst.
But we've been knowing this.
But yes, we've been knowing this the same narrative.
Like, Stassi, of course. Like we've just been knowing.
Stassi's the one that's like come out on top out of like all Vanderpump Rules. I love huge Stassi stan at this point.
Don't you forget it.
Yeah. I don't know what I did to you, but I'll take a glass of Pinot Grigio. Oh, iconic. If you guys haven't watched Vanderpump Rules, you have to start it now. It's so good. It's so good. Okay, I guess we should get into the Bestie Tales.
Yeah, we're like pop cultured out. I could talk about pop culture forever.
She's so pop culture savvy, and I tried it. I can't do it. I can't hang. I don't know what it is, but all of a sudden you'll name one thing and she'll just know everything about everything. Movies, celebrities, everything. Maxton Hall, I guess we'll end here. We've rewatched it 3 times in a week. In a week, we rewatched it 3 times. I can't even speak properly because I'm so obsessed.
No, and I'm literally obsessed with them.
Like, you guys have to watch it. I don't love, like, it's hard for me to watch foreign films that are dubbed in English because I feel like the dubbing is off. Oh, yeah. It just isn't good. But this dubbing is I want to listen to it good
in its mother tongue. Now.
Yes,
I want to listen to it in
the mother tongue.
I need it.
It's German.
I need German in my face. These
you get the real emotion.
Beautiful and stunning. Love and I just like, oh my God.
Yeah, so I need to finish the last 2 episodes of my 3rd rewatch in the past week. But if you guys haven't watched it, it's giving book talk, which I know when I say that, people are like, well, it's based off of a book. I know it's based off of a book, but still, like sometimes when you watch a book turn into a movie, it just doesn't give the book talk energy this gives.
It's giving enemies to love us.
Enemies to love us, which is such a good, like, we love that.
Rich, poor trope. It's
Oh,
giving
my
dad
favorite.
doesn't approve. I love tropes. Tropes on tropes on tropes.
Yeah, there's a lot of intertwining tropes there, and we love it. I love it. So Maxton Hall, that's the next one we'll tell you guys to watch. That's so good.
100%.
You'll binge it in a day, and then you'll be sad, but then you'll just like keep rewatching it, and then you just won't stop rewatching it. And that's it. Okay, I guess we should get into the best details.
I know. Let's do it.
Okay, we've got some really good stories today. Super, super pumped to share with you guys. The first one's pretty good. The first one is my old neighbor. We're going to Utah, okay? Nevada's right next to Utah.
I'm sorry. I thought you meant your actual old neighbor for a second.
No, I didn't know our old neighbors.
I know. That's why I was confused. You didn't
No, neighbor, my neighbor state, Utah. Okay, we're going over there. So for all the Utah baddies out there, the Utah girlies, I don't know what's in the water, but they're all looking too damn good over there in Utah. Okay.
Perfect.
I know. The hair is perfect. The Utah curl. I don't hate it. I don't. The straight ends, whatever. Do what makes you.
They could never make me hate you.
Yeah, the Utah girls, they can never make the Utah curls. Not girls, but that too. Okay, here we go. Hi, I am in need of some advice or words of encouragement. For context, I'm from Utah and therefore got married extremely slash too young, and so did pretty much all of our friends. I think she meant like extremely early. My husband and I had a solid, tight-knit friend group since elementary school, and all of them got married very young to their high school sweethearts, which also meant all of us wives have known each other since high school. We have 4 couples total that we hang out with all together, and it has always been very nice having other married couples to hang out with, especially since we all have known each other for so long. However, I've always felt somewhat of an outsider with the other wives. I have a good relationship with 2 of the 3 wives individually, but the third in particular, I will call her Abby, treats me very differently than she treats the other 2. To be honest, no friends have ever made me feel less important or ignored more than Abby. She's very passive aggressive and will constantly exclude me from conversations, interrupting me when I'm talking without an apology or effort to bring the conversation back to what I was saying. And she makes a lot of backhanded comments that kind of make her come off as superior to me. This has been going on for about 3 years since we all got married, and we generally see each other once a week. I used to try so hard to make myself be included, but a lot of the time I would open my mouth to speak and I would quite literally be silenced. As someone that is already pretty introverted and shy, I have learned the difference between keeping to myself and being shut down or silenced. It hurts a lot because 2 other wives either don't notice or they don't really care to say something. I always try really hard to be self-aware and to tell myself not everything is about me, or that maybe there's something else I should be doing to include myself, or even that I should just be a good friend and just be a listener. But it's really tiring being treated this way and questioning if everything I am doing is the wrong thing. I don't feel seen, and I often come home from seeing them feeling depleted. I hate that I'm even asking for advice on this because it all feels so high school and immature, but I truly can't wrap my head around the fact that I have been treated this way in my adult friendships. Over the past month or so, I've stopped trying to make myself fit, and I've noticed that Abby doesn't even acknowledge my existence if I don't force myself in. But she also bulldozes my conversations with whoever else. I don't know how or even if I should handle this. What do you think I should do moving forward? Thank you so much for reading this. I'm really grateful to get a fresh set of eyes on something that I've been having such a hard time with. Obsessed with the pod. That is so tough because just based off of like assumptions, I know that, my old neighbor, I know some people from Utah as well. And I know that like due to a lot of people getting married young, you grew up with inner circles and the friendships. I feel like a lot of other people experience different things where when they get married, their friend groups are so different. They met in college, maybe they met through work or something. But when you meet at a young age and then get married young and you've known these people like your whole lives, it's like this whole different level of depth that I feel like a lot of people don't really understand. But also, I feel like when you are growing up in your 20s and you're going through all these different friendships, people really start to show their true colors in their 20s, early to mid 20s, like loud and clear. And we're smart as women. We know when another woman is being kind of shitty, we know when another woman is jealous.
It's like, and you kind of just want to turn around and look at them and be like, are you going through something?
Yeah. Like, are you okay?
Are you okay?
Yeah.
Like,
it's just, I don't know.
It makes you be like, what's making you
They're project
and treat me like this?
Yeah.
Obviously, you can't come at somebody that is like that and be like, "Why are you projecting?"
But it's hard
But
when
it's
you're in a
hard.
friend
It's
group.
like,
You know what I mean? Because it's
and
like, of course, I'm
honestly,
sure the
like,
guys get
I'm
along just
sorry, but your
fine.
friends aren't dumb. They're bystanders.
Yeah,
Like
that's
they know
true.
what's going on.
Yeah.
Bitches know everything. They
Yeah.
pick up on everything. We sense energy. Our intuition is different. And I don't think they're not dumb.
I don't know. It's
I don't
hard because
know.
it's like when the guys are all friends too, and you know the guys are
And
probably
the
fine.
guys are
It
just
just
it's
goes
just
right over their
right over their
head. They
fucking
don't
head.
they
Yeah.
don't understand.
No, they
They get
don't.
along. They've got no drama. So it's like up to the girls to like figure out how to like navigate the situation. But I would honestly like open up to your husband and just be like, are you picking up
Are you picking
the
up what's
vibes?
been putting down?
Yeah, because this is how I'm feeling. This is how she's making me feel. It's been going on for a long time. And I don't know. I don't know. I honestly like it's hard when you're in a friend group, but you grow in and out of friend groups. Like there's so many other people
Totally.
out there in the world. There's
I
so many
also
people out there that you can be friends with, you know?
It makes me sad reading the part in which you had written in wrote
Brittany?
written in?
I like Roten. Roten. I like it. It's giving
Um,
medieval.
that you've acknowledged that you feel depleted.
It's
When
huge.
you leave a friend group
Mm-hmm.
and a social gathering, it's one thing to feel tired from
A fun
activities,
day.
but you feeling depleted, you acknowledging that is
Mm-hmm.
really important. And
Yeah.
I think you're already making your decisions of what is actually going to be healthier for you. And you know what? If that means maybe just reaching out to one of those girls and being like, hey, going to a workout class, do you want to come with? Or, I'm going to this coffee shop, want to come with us? XYZ.
Yeah. Life is too young to surround yourself
With people
with shitty
that
people.
don't make you feel
Yeah.
good. And there are energy suckers out there. And
Oh,
this
man.
chickadee is an energy sucker.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
And that's coming from someone who I feel like I've been an energy sucker
Oh,
in parts of my life. I'm working on myself.
self-aware. She's
Self-aware.
self-aware.
But I think
Mm.
now I looked at my friend the other day and I was like, I just know when it's my time to go because I'll just make it miserable for everyone else. Like I really will. I will be
You will.
like,
Yeah.
just, and it's not even because of other people. Like I'm just tired
Uh-huh.
and I'm like, I want to go home.
Yeah.
I don't think that this girl has that same kind of energy.
No, she does not.
I think she's
You have to pay attention to how your body reacts around certain people. We've
100%.
talked about this in an episode too.
Yeah.
Like, pay attention to how people affect your energy, and if you're feeling depleted around certain people, that is so loud and clear. Like, life is too short for
Totally.
you to be
It is.
surrounded by people who deplete you, who treat you like shit. We'll tell you right now that like you're validated in your feelings, like from what you've
100%.
told us.
Yeah.
Okay. And the other two girls are bystanders. Like, girls are smart, you guys. Like, we know what is going on before it even happens. And if those girls like it's understanding to an extent if they don't want to, cause any drama. But if you're feeling some kind of way, she's outwardly like being rude and it's pretty obvious and people aren't saying anything or standing by your side, you're validated in your feelings. And if you want to make an exit or a shift, I should say, from this friend group and maybe find some new friends, like, or maybe just spend some time alone and just be like, you know what, let me try to like figure out
Totally.
like things for myself and who I want to surround yourself by. And also like, you're grown, you can choose who you want to hang out with.
Completely. And if you find yourself in a situation where you're overwhelmed and you're like, you just want to ask her, why do you treat me like this in front of other people?
Ugh.
Do it.
Stir the pot, baby.
And don't be afraid for that outcome to be letting go of those people, because it's probably going to be much better for you.
Yeah, it's going to be much better.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. And like, honestly, I feel like this happens so often. Like, it's tough in friend groups. Like when it's one individual, I feel like easier than in friend groups, especially when you have your partners involved in the friend group. It can get really messy and dramatic and it's tricky to navigate. But like Chooch said, like if you're friends with the other two girls and you're like, hey, do you want to go to a workout class? Do you want to grab coffee? Like, you don't have to surround yourself with somebody who makes you feel like shit. You have every right. And you can say no, you can say no to hanging out with them or hanging out with her, or, don't be afraid to stand up for yourself in a respectful way. And if she takes it to a whole different level, like her true colors are going to show.
You don't want to be around that.
You don't want to be around that at all.
Alrighty. Hi, ladies. I'm 21 years old and I live in Australia.
Oi!
I love Australia.
Oi! She's been to Australia.
I want to know what part. Before I start and share my story, I just wanted to say that I find you, Soph, in this podcast as a safe space and a room to feel my feelings.
Feel it, girl.
I feel validated and not alone when I listen and view your content. Thank you for this.
Love you.
Thank you.
Love you. This is a safe space.
So here's my rant. All right, I'm ready. I'm 21, which I know is young, but I feel like I have experienced so many changes in my body lately. My legs, bum, hips, tummy, and boobs have all increased in size in the last 6 to 12 months, and clothes have started to fit funny or not fit at all. I feel frustrated and angry with myself because I feel so disappointed in myself for looking the way I currently do. I almost never feel sexy and find experiences with swimwear or little clothing extremely stressful and uncomfortable. I feel like my age is not spoken about often with the issue of body image. I'm out of that initial teen puberty stage, but also not in my mid 20s to experience the famous second period that so many women speak about. I guess I just want to know, is this normal to see this change at such a young age? Is this just waking and I need to fix it? How do I feel more confident and sexy in my own skin no matter the size? Because I'm so ready to finally feel good about myself and live my life to the fullest without this feeling stopping me from enjoying life.
Oh my God, that's so relatable.
Girl.
You and me both, sister.
Girl, I almost want to pull up like pictures of what I looked like in college.
Oh, that was a tough time for you.
Oh my goodness
But
gracious.
I think that honestly, it happens at different points for different people.
Totally.
I know that like people say like second puberty. I think I've even said it before too on social media where people are like, oh, second puberty, this, like every woman goes through a second puberty. It's not necessary. It could be, maybe if we want to label it something, it could be that. But it's more so like you guys were just women.
We're just, our bodies change. We talked about this a little bit, I think a couple episodes ago. Your body is like preparing to have a kid. Whether that is your life path, whether that is what you want, it might not be what you want, but like that is what our bodies are designed to do, and things start to change. I think it's at least extremely hard for me to sit here and be like, here's the XYZ.
Yeah,
this,
there's
that,
no
the other.
perfect
Because
thing.
I struggle every single day with the way that I view myself and my body and how I look in clothes and things that I've held on to for years on end that I'm like, I'm working out all the time and my diet's changed. Like, how do these not fit me?
Right. Yeah.
And I'm like, so I feel like I wish that I could give you all the advice, but it's going to be one of those situations where I'll have to like replay this section and watch it myself.
Yeah, it's like you're speaking into a mirror. I know, and that's like so much of what this is too. Like on my podcast, I feel like I say it all the time, but I'm like, don't worry, you guys. Like I'm putting the mirror in front of me while I'm saying this because I need to listen to this.
Totally.
But I don't think it's like not normal that it's like, oh, I'm 21 and going through this, because like it's totally an average experience in your 20s as a whole to see your body start to change. And a lot of women develop sooner than some. A lot of women develop later than some. And it's everyone's path is different. I think that the most important thing is going based off of how you feel, because how you look is one thing. If you are looking a certain way and maybe you have gained a little bit of weight, maybe your body's looking a little different, you're carrying weight in different areas, and you feel like shit, that could be just a deeper sign that maybe something's cooking inside of you that shouldn't be there, right?
Totally.
Like maybe something internally is going on that maybe you need to get checked out. But if your body's changing and you're looking a little different, but you have never felt better, you finally feel like, okay, I'm actually getting really good sleep. My energy levels are pretty good. If you're tracking your cycle and you know your cycle, like, okay, my cycle is actually pretty regular, and I don't have crazy up downs. Like everything's actually pretty good. I feel pretty fucking good right now. But why is my body looking like this? That's a whole different thing, right? And it can be hard to kind of like decipher between the two, but just like go based off of how you feel. How are you feeling right now? Energy level wise, like, are you having midday crashes? Are you waking up exhausted? Do you have brain fog? How is your mental health doing? How are your cravings? Like when it comes to food, are you constantly craving things, or all these different things, these bodily signals? How's your sleep? Do you have insomnia? Like, are you waking up at all hours of the night, or do you have trouble falling asleep? Like all of those are different indicators that like something's going on internally. But if you're checking it off and you're like, things are good, then you know what I mean? Sometimes it's like a journey of like embracing, like, okay, my body's changing as a woman. It's okay. I feel incredible. And this is the way that my body looks
Mhm.
when I feel my best. And that's kind of the
Totally.
journey that I'm going on
Totally.
right now, where it's like you look yourself in the mirror and I'm like, wait a minute, I'm feeling incredible, but my body looks different. Fuck, this kind of sucks. But it's like, you know what? I feel good though.
And I feel like how do you asked, like, how do I feel more confident and sexy in my own skin? It's tough when it comes to the age you're at
Mm-hmm.
and the style of, like,
Clothes and everything.
clothes and
Yeah.
everything is so tough right now because I feel like someone that's a little bit older, I'm trying to find my personal style at the moment, and I feel like I'm looking in a closet full of things that I had bought that everyone else had because
Mm.
everyone else was wearing it, and I was like, a lot of it is cropped, a lot of it is, like, a little bit more skin showing and things
Yeah.
like that, that I totally get where you're at with, like, this, like, a lot of people don't wear a lot of clothing anymore.
I know. I'm just like,
It's,
how the
like,
fuck am I supposed to
I don't
dress?
know what I'm supposed to wear,
What am
my
I supposed to wear? And
stomach,
it's like
it's like
sometimes you buy stuff and it looks so good on the model and you put it on and you're like,
I'm like,
"Oh,
"What was I
why would I do that to
thinking?
myself?"
What am I
Like, this
doing?"
is made for, and sometimes we try on clothes, but we're like, this is not made
It's
for
not made for me,
me.
100%,
It's
and
not made for me.
that's not a you
You
thing.
know.
That's just there's something else that's made much better for you
Mm-hmm.
that other people would look horrible in,
Exactly.
and
Clothes are
that's
made to
clothes
fit
are
you.
made to fit you, and don't be afraid to kind of experiment and maybe find your personal style a little bit
Mm-hmm.
faster, sooner than some of the other girls. You don't have to wear microscopic clothing
Yeah.
like all the micro trends are right now if
Ugh,
you
the
don't feel
micro
good in
shorts?
that.
I'm scared.
It's really scary.
I'm scared. The micro shorts, which
Like the
honestly, if you can
ruffles?
rock it,
Oh
so
my
slay.
god.
But this is not the micro shorts would cover maybe a quarter of my butt cheek and half of my labia.
That's what I was gonna
Like, it's
say,
not gonna cover
and I don't
anything
even have an
else.
ass.
Like, it would cover your whole butt cheek and a
Uh,
quarter of your lab. Like, how are we supposed to live, laugh, and love in these conditions?
we
No, but it's
can't.
true. I think when it comes to like, if you're asking about, you're like, and I think that's a lot of women are like, is this weight gain that I need to fix or is this just
Is
normal?
this just normal? And things
Always
like
go
that. I
back to
mean,
how you feel.
obviously, if you're eating
Mhm.
like shit, drinking all the time, not working
And
out,
not
like
taking care of yourself.
maybe that there's a bit of it that is on you. If this is like
Mhm.
a lifestyle, like you're happy with your lifestyle, you've
Yep.
got like a good grip with alcohol and extracurriculars,
Mhm.
and you feel like you eat a balanced diet, and it's not like everything has to be like regimen. Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
No, 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 no. Like you're feeling good. You're getting your protein. You're getting your meals in and things like that. Like I don't think that's something that you need to necessarily fix. It's just finding
The
harmony
balance. Yeah.
in
Yep.
the body that you have right now. And I'm such a proponent about looking at yourself in the mirror and be like, what are things that I absolutely fucking love about myself? How do I accentuate them?
Mhm.
How do I make this be the star of the show?
Yeah, exactly.
For me, it's my boobs.
Yeah.
And without having
Amazing.
everything like spill or whatever, like I just find clothes that
You do a good job of
make
that.
me like feel
That flatter
that flatter
the
the
chesties. And
ladies.
also once you start, like, we'll finish off with this, like, how do you feel confident, period, is when you feel good.
Wait, I'm listening. Sorry.
When you feel I'm talking to you. I'm talking to you. Yeah. How do you feel good? How do you feel confident? You focus on the way that you feel. Because when you feel good, you start to look good. Okay. There's been some
Mhm.
people that I have met, doesn't matter the size, the shape, the color, doesn't matter. And they just have like this confidence about them. And you just know that it's
So hot.
because that they like love themselves, they take care of themselves, they nurture themselves, they find clothes that flatter their body that make them feel more confident, but you could just tell that they feel good about themselves. And that comes with also just like growing up and like being more set in your values and
Mhm.
your beliefs and like knowing what you want and what you believe in life when it comes to any like issues or like anything, you know, that you think of. And also just like feeling good, because when you feel good, you fucking look good. It doesn't matter what size you are, but you could tell somebody that like feels good. 'Cause I've also met people who are like, again, different sizes, shapes, whatever, and you could tell that they just don't feel good. And that shows. Like, you have a different energy and aura about yourself when you feel good. And
You
people don't
do.
focus on your physical when
Yeah,
they
it's
can't get enough of your energy. And they're
the
like, holy fuck, they have such good energy.
literally the best compliment that you can get
Mm-hmm.
genuinely is when people comment about your aura, your energy,
Yeah.
your disposition, uh, like, and people will
Toot, no,
but
toot it.
I am.
Are you going to toot your horn? Are you about to toot?
I always like when I go and check in at the gym, I just find the people that work at the front desk to be just the nicest group of people. And I always kind of like ask them how they are, like whatever. And I don't mind like scanning my pass and sitting there for a second. And this one guy was like, "You have the best energy when you walk in here, and you always acknowledge everyone here and always ask us how we are, even if you're late to class or in a rush or whatever." And he's like, "You just have really great energy." And that makes me feel really good.
Yeah, that's the best
Is that
compliment.
energy with me at all times? No.
That's okay though.
But in that moment, I made those people feel special.
Yeah.
And I think that that's like one of the best compliments I've gotten in a really long time. And I feel like happy when I explain that. And
Yeah.
I
And
just
that's
need
what
to
you
bring that
want.
to other parts of my life.
Yeah, and which is okay, self-aware queen. This is like a whole therapy session for all of us, you guys. This isn't just like you guys getting advice. I think when we start talking again,
It really helps
the
us.
mirror is up. It helps us too. Like, this is a whole safe space for just all of us here.
Yeah.
But I would say just like feeling confident in yourself it just takes time, and it just your 20s is you're going to be fucking lost probably. You're finding out who you are. You're just figuring so many different things out. There's so much going on that like just be kind to yourself, be gentle. Like, you're just a woman. You're just a woman, you know, and you may just be growing into your womanly body, and
And
that's okay.
my last, and we're going to end it on here
Mhm.
because I find that this might be interesting to look into and find like books to read about and things like that, is the inner voice and the inner
Mm.
speak.
Yeah, the way
And I
you
feel
speak
like
to yourself
this could tie
impacts.
into like quite a few other stories that we have today. But I'm working hard on, at least for me, trying to be a little bit kinder. The
Mhm.
voice inside my head, the voice that I hear when I look in the mirror, and
Yeah.
things like that, because it really does determine your reality, and your perception of yourself is like genuinely,
Everything.
it is everything.
Yeah.
And if you don't find yourself to be like worthy of certain things, and you're hung up on like, oh, these clothes, like I'm this size and my clothes don't fit, like that, you're telling yourself that that is your reality.
Mhm.
Like, put on shit and be like, this looks fucking good. I
Yeah.
look good. I look hot. I look sexy. That's your reality when you step outside the door.
Yeah, and people
And
pick
people
up on
people pick
that.
up on that.
Like, that's the thing, is that you're giving that energy out into the world, and people will eat that shit up,
Yeah.
you know?
So
Inner voice.
maybe look a little bit into the inner voice
Everybody
and the
take a
brain.
second today to look into the mirror and tell yourself 5 things that you like about yourself. It's gonna be hard, it's gonna be awkward, it should be. It should be really uncomfortable for you to say that, but
Mhm.
today we will all do it. We're gonna look into the mirror.
Homework.
We're gonna tell ourselves 5 things that we like about ourselves. It could be physical, it could be a characteristic, it could be something that you do or whatever. You're going to do that today. We're all going to do it. And then tomorrow we're going to wake up and we're just going to be like so amazing, and just
We're
we're
gonna
going
be
to love
beaming.
ourselves. We're going to be beaming, babes. Okay, moving forward. Hi, Soph. Congrats on the engagement. I'm so excited for you and Ash. Thank you so much. I've just got off of hormonal birth control after being on it for 3 years, and I am so happy with my decision. I've started using natural cycles to track my cycle as a form of birth control now. I've taught my partner lots about cycle syncing with your cycle and how I can use it as birth control. I've told him about green days and red days and told him that we can have unprotected sex, but he does not quite believe it's safe. We do not want to have babies at the moment, so I know that he is just wanting to be extra careful in case we do have unprotected sex on a green day and I end up pregnant. My question to you, Soph, is how do I get him to trust the algorithm of natural cycles? How did you explain it to Nash that it is safe without condoms on green days? I really want to make this work with natural cycles, and I want us to be able to not use condoms for the green days of my cycle. If you have any suggestions that will help ease my partner's anxiety about this, please list them. Love you and shoot so much. Well, we love you. And it's so funny. We were actually just talking about this last night at dinner with our friends, because we just recently had two friends who also got off of hormonal birth control recently and started tracking with natural cycles. And naturally, I started just popping my badus on what I know about tracking because there's so much, I feel like, just mystery because we just aren't taught this as women.
Oh my God, we don't know anything.
We don't know anything, which is insane.
We were never told anything.
It's just crazy. It's like the more that I learn about it, the more that I sit there and I'm like, no, literally, I'm just like, how dare they not teach us about our bodies? Because it is everything. It just impacts everything. But anyways, basically, I feel like the best way that I was able to communicate this to Nash and even to myself, because it took convincing for myself to trust into this process and buy into it as well, is recognizing and realizing that you can only get pregnant once a month. You can't get pregnant 24/7. And that scares a lot of people because we were never told this directly, but we inherently assume this because so many people were like, you have to get on birth control. If you get off birth control, you will become pregnant. That's how it is. So I think automatically assumed that it's just like, we just have an egg that's ready to be fertilized 24/7 hanging out there. That's just not how our bodies work. And that's what the female cycle is. And I think understanding that you can only get pregnant once a month, and that is when you ovulate. When your egg drops down, it's only viable for 24 to 48 hours, 48 max. And then after that, it dissolves. And then once you don't become pregnant, you start your period. So it's literally impossible once the egg dissolves and once you're like about to start your period to get pregnant. A lot of people say, I got pregnant on my period. It's scientifically impossible to conceive on your period. However, sperm can live inside of you for 3 to 5 days on average. And if I guess they're strong swimmers, maybe upwards of 7 days. That's why your fertile window is about like a week out of the month, because you're fertile for about 3 to 5 days before you ovulate. Sperm can live inside of you for 3 to 5 days. You ovulate, anywhere from 24 to 48 hours is when your egg is viable. It's ready to be fertilized. So avoid during that window if you're trying to not get pregnant. And then after that, you are good to go because there's no egg there. If there's no egg there, you can't get pregnant. But a lot of people, I feel like, who say they got pregnant on their period, maybe what had happened is that they were on maybe their 5th or 6th day of their cycle. They were still on their period. Maybe they were still, flowing a little bit. Maybe they did the nasty, their partner finished inside of them. And then their partner has strong swimmers that stayed in there for 5, maybe 6 days. That puts you on cycle day 12. And if you ovulate, maybe you ovulate a little bit early that month and your egg is there ready to be fertilized. And then that's when the conception happens. It doesn't happen the moment that you have sex. It takes a little bit of time, right? For shit to get cooking there. But I think that's like what people really get confused with. And once I told that to Nash, I was like, we can only get pregnant during this time. So if we avoid this window, I'm good to go. But that's why another layer of this is tracking your ovulation is so important. Of course, it's important to plan pregnancy so you can know when you want to conceive, but it's very important if you're trying to prevent pregnancy to avoid that window. So testing with LH strips and then confirming your ovulation through a rise in your BBT. Right after you ovulate, your temperature should spike up a little bit, and then you should see an upward trend of your BBT, and then you start your period, and then it kind of drops back down again. But I think just having them understand that it's can't get pregnant 24/7. After you ovulate, you're good to go because there's no egg there that's ready to be fertilized. Once you've confirmed the spike in temperature, at least for me, I'll wake up and I'll be like, okay, I'm instead of it being like 96.8, it's like 98 for me because we have lower temperatures. I'm usually in the 96s, but if it's like 98, then I'm like, okay, I know that like I ovulated. Like,
Yeah,
here we go.
totally.
We're going to avoid for right now and then we're good to go. So I think just like, I don't know, do you have any advice? Because Chooch also tracks as well. Do you have any other advice? I feel like it's just understanding the cycle. And
I'm
once they understand
celibate
it,
at this
yeah,
moment.
she's celibate.
I'm pushing like a year of not having intercourse.
Slay.
No, I think also is just genuinely this is my answer. You ask how to get him to trust you, let it happen on a green day.
Yeah.
And then nothing will happen.
Nothing will happen.
And then hopefully he trusts you. I'm sorry.
Exactly.
Is that reckless?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe it is. No, you can
I don't
at
know.
least, but also if you can trust the green days, you guys. But if you are the type of gal to get very paranoid and overwhelmed and super anxious and like convinced that you're pregnant or whatever,
you pop a plan B when the plan B is gonna do nothing for you.
Yeah.
Which I would love. We should talk about plan B.
I know. Power of the plan B.
Understand how plan B works. I sure as shit know a couple of my friends don't know how it works,
which is okay. Plan B
it's actually okay.
Just a quick snippet. It just
delays
ovulation. That's it. It doesn't get rid of anything that's down there. All plan B does is just delay ovulation so you ovulate at a later time, or you just maybe don't ovulate at all.
Swimmies time to die off.
And that
if you're having it a little bit closer to your fertile window.
Yeah.
So girls are popping candy pills as if it's gonna nothing's happening in your body. Like there's nothing's going on. There's no egg. It's dissolved at that point.
Yeah.
There's nothing to at that point. You're just taking something that is
not good. I know. And that's why it's like tracking your and it's plan B is a great thing. Like it's honestly a great tool. Like we fully support the use of it in good use though. Like don't abuse it, but also it's like just know that it does delay it. All it does is delay ovulation,
that's
which as you guys know will totally change your cycle. It will shift everything. Your cycle will be irregular. And, you can feel the changes in your body when that happens. But yeah, I just think like having them understand what a cycle is, teaching them more about it and realizing that like you literally can only get pregnant once a month.
Yeah.
But you can ovulate at different times. You don't ovulate on the same day every month. You might ovulate earlier. You might ovulate later. And that's why it's just, it gets a little murky. It gets a little gray. The sperm can live inside of you for 3 to 5 days. And it's just like, that's why tracking your cycle and just being up on it is good. And you just buy into it.
I'm happy that your partner is open to the conversations and is supportive of you going through this journey. That's so important. And the hesitation that he has is completely warranted.
Yeah, 100%.
It is totally valid. And I think the journey that you two are on, because this is just as much his journey as it is yours.
Mm-hmm.
And that I think it's giving healthy.
Yes.
It's giving
which
healthy
we love.
conversation and it's giving healthy communication. So kudos.
Yeah.
So,
I think I was going to say earlier before you mentioned plan B is that if you feel paranoid as fuck, like just pull out.
Just do it. Just
it's okay.
I go back, take backsies.
It's if you
I don't want to do that.
Yeah. If that's how it is, like again, you can trust it. But these are for my paranoid, anxious girlies. Just pull out. You know what I mean? Like just don't have that happen and you're going to be okay. You're going to be okay. But everyone's cycle is super different, so that's why tracking it, staying up on it is really important.
Okay. Well, I gave this one a little read prior and I'm going to do my best.
I pick ones that are specific for Chooch to read because I feel like they're more relatable.
Yeah. I'm going to do my best.
Go ahead.
Hi, besties. I'm currently 24 and haven't had a boyfriend since I was 20. He was my high school sweetheart and we were together for 3.5 years. But after graduation, I went to college and just realized we both wanted different things. Fast forward to today, I'm still single. I question myself every day. Am I good enough? Am I pretty enough?
Oh.
Is there something wrong with my body or the way that I look?
Oh, I didn't mean to make you cry with this one.
Oh, it's okay. Do I need to lose weight? Do I need to look a certain way? Am I just lonely and sad I'm just lonely and sad that I haven't met anyone? Any advice? Or what you may think is appreciated? I feel you, clearly. I'm 28, and I'm not saying this to be like, "Oh, you're gonna be single forever." I'm just saying, like, I absolutely relate to you in this situation that you're in. I haven't had a boyfriend since I was 22.
Mhm.
Yeah. So it's been like 6 years. I was in a bit of a situationship last year, and I feel like that shouldn't be swept under the rug just because it didn't have an official label, because at least for me, there was, like, real feelings there, so
And honestly, which again, we were talking about this last night, but situationships hurt fucking worse
they
than the
hurt so much worse,
relationships.
like
It takes you so much longer to get
yeah.
over these fucking stupid ass situationships than they do legitimate relationships. They both hurt, but man, do those situationships sting.
I ask myself these questions, unfortunately, almost every single day, and it's like prison sometimes living in my brain and not feeling like essentially good enough for somebody and not really feeling special. But I also can say that even though I've been having those thoughts and these questions come along, like I am putting in so much work
Mhm.
into myself at the moment and into my relationships
Yeah.
and into my family and into my body that it's starting to diminish like every single day. Kind of that negative self-talk, which we had kind of talked about a little bit earlier.
Mhm.
I don't think I particularly have like any crazy advice other than
I think it's good advice that you were giving, though. You have to recognize you've got to pour into yourself.
totally.
It's going to be the most difficult thing that you do to
It is.
continue to
It's
pour
been
into yourself when
like
you feel like
extremely hard.
you want that validation, even though it's like, oh, you don't want male validation. You want fucking something, but don't forget how far you've come.
Totally.
And like you said, slowly, it may still feel like it's a lot and it's heavy, but slowly but surely each day you wake up and you're like, it's getting less shitty.
It
And
is.
those little wins you have to
You
celebrate.
have to celebrate. And I think
Mhm.
like it's already a big deal that even our friends last night at dinner were like, "Oh, I've got friends that I can
Yeah.
set you up with and get dinner. You guys would get along so well." And like
Mhm.
I'm open to that. And I think that that's like so great. First off, you don't need to lose weight. You don't need to look a certain way.
Mm-mm.
You are good enough. You are pretty enough. I promise you. Those are extremely valid questions when there is so much centered on life about finding a significant other. And when you don't find it, you tie this to your self-worth. And this is the
Totally.
first thing that I talked about on episode what I don't even know. A
Yeah.
year ago when Sophia started her podcast and I
Yeah. The first episode that
first
you
episode that
had.
I
Yeah.
was
With
on with
us.
her,
Mhm.
maybe go back and listen
Yeah.
because I express how throughout my life I have tied so much of my self-worth to the interest, or I should say lack of interest, that there has been,
Uh-huh.
and like lack of commitment and lack of feeling important to
Mhm.
a man, to like how I view myself. And it's almost as if anytime that my family or my friends or my sister or Nash tell me something positive about myself,
It's like
tell me something great, or that I look a certain way, like in my head it's like,
an
well, nobody else feels that way.
yeah, it's like an immediate rejection that you have.
It is.
It's
It's
like
an
uncomfortable for you to receive that
oh,
because
it's
you're like,
extremely
okay,
comfortable
you're
because I'm
saying
like,
that,
that's
but
great that you feel that way, but
mm,
no one else no one else out there does.
yeah.
When in reality, like I'm trying so hardly with no medication to rewire my brain at the
Mhm.
moment. And a lot of my unhappiness, I realize comes with how many times I ask myself questions like these.
Mm.
And I just know that little hell that you're living in.
Yeah.
I'm so I'm sad that someone else feels that way.
And honestly, I know that a lot of other girls
So
too.
many.
Like this is going to be very this negative self-talk is
It's
very
just
relatable for a lot of
horrible.
women in relation to tying it to relationships and that value with self-worth where you immediately turn inward towards yourself and you're like, is it me? Is it the way I look?
Totally.
Like, is it my personality? What do I need to change about myself? You don't
Totally.
have to change anything about yourself.
No.
And honestly, you guys, I
Mhm.
just it's like, oh, it goes back to the root of social media the hyper social world we live in, the quick access that men have to options is so, I don't even know the right word. It's really difficult because we're experiencing all of this for the first time. This hyper reality social world that we live in, all of these men have access to a lot of women. Oh, and they did not have this access to women even just 20 years ago, let alone like when our parents were growing up. So it's like if you're trying to relate or trying to be like, well, what about this person or this? It's just like, I don't think anybody really understands what's going on right now. And men, their hardwiring is very different than it was years ago. And I think for women, it's not. Our hardwiring is relatively the same as it has been for a while because it may be a stereotype, but we aren't accessing, for the most part, like men in the way that men are accessing women socially on dating apps, on certain websites and stuff, which I've got some personal friends who do OnlyFans, okay? And I'm like, slay, get your bag, and they rock it, and they're hot, and they're amazing, and they fucking kill it. But there is another side to things where it's like men have access to stuff like that. But we, stereotypically, women, we're not seeking that, but men are. So it's like women out here are feeling invalidated. They're feeling like, what the fuck is going on? Why, is it me? Is it me? Is it me? No, it's the men.
But I kind of feel like I'm sitting here and like all of these things where it's like, do I need to lose weight? Do I need to change? Like, imagine though, if you did meet somebody and you did those things strictly for them.
Yeah.
Like, and that's like the basis of like wanting to change is like for another person. Like, and
you
it's
never
not
want to do that.
You don't want to do that. You don't want to be in a situation where you're like, wow, okay, this person tells me, or like, you know what? I don't know if I'm trying to say. I don't know if you're picking up on what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, you just don't want to put your self-worth based off of what somebody else's idea is. Like you're thinking of this idea as opposed to the reality. And it's like you will find a good egg. There are a lot of good eggs out there.
Good eggs out there.
But it's hard to find them.
It is hard to find them. But it's also like, I saw this thing on TikTok and I thought it was quite interesting and a very interesting perspective is, you know, if you knew that 30 days from today, like it was told to you, you got a letter from a higher power that said 30 days from now, you're going to meet your person and this is who you spend forever with. How are you going to spend the next 30 days of being single?
How would you?
How would I? I don't know. That's so like, that's what's so crazy is that like, you just don't know when it's going to happen. And I just feel like if my life were to shift and I brought somebody in, like I would want to make sure that my routine is down, that I feel like financially like good, that I'm confident in my job, that I'm confident in myself, that I'm, you know, spending time with my friends because it's a known fact. Like when you meet somebody that becomes extremely high on your priority list, like you want to see them.
Yeah,
you want to hang out with them.
They become your main priority.
Totally.
As they
and
should,
I remember
you know?
like so sadly, like not even, I don't know, begging, but just always being like, hey, we should do this. We should hang out. We should do this. Like just trying to like put feelers out there because I just really wanted to see this person.
Quality time.
And
she's a quality time girl.
Totally. I love a good quality time moment. But
yeah, I don't know. I think
perspective.
I just feel like we hear this so often, and we've had conversations with so many other girls too that are single.
Totally.
And this one of Chooch's friends who I met here, she's like, she was really drunk, but she's like, I don't fucking get it. Like, so many of us are out here. We're hot women. We're fucking successful. We are like independent queens. We're hot. She kept saying, she's like, we're all hot and we're successful. And like, why are we fucking single? Like, why are we single? Why are we? And obviously, like, I know that I'm speaking, you know, I'm speaking on the outsider looking into all of close people in my life who are single, who are struggling with this. But it's so true because it's like all these women who are hot, independent, single, they pay their own fucking rent. They fucking pay their own card. They're like killing it.
Yeah.
Why are they single? Why are
I
all
don't
of these
know.
like amazing bachelorette gals single, you know? And it's like something's different out there. Like
Yeah, it's just a
something is
different
in the water and it's like hard to pinpoint it, but I think a lot of women are thinking this too. And I think the thing is that keep being independent, keep being hot, keep being successful, keep pouring into yourself. Your
totally.
routine is everything. It's sacred to
And
you.
you're gonna attract somebody that's doing the same
Same
exact thing
exact
for
thing.
themselves. You don't wanna
They'll
be with
slide right
someone
in. Yep.
who, because there'll be people that are like, "Damn, that girl's got it the fuck going on, and I have it the fuck going on, and we
We're
could
gonna
get
get
it
it
the fuck
on. We
going
gonna
on
get it
together."
on.
And
Yeah, because you
I
want to
just feel
attract
like
high
you
vibration people.
you don't want a shitty
You don't
person.
want a low
You
vibration
Yeah.
person in your life.
No.
No.
No more low vibe people. No
Mm-mm.
more insecure people.
Mm-mm.
No more
High vibrations.
high
But it
vibrations.
starts with yourself because you have
100%.
to be giving
You have
those
to be
high
high.
vibrations.
You have to be high vibe.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody wants to be with a low vibe person.
No. Pour into
And
yourself.
I'm gonna be again speaking in the mirror. Low vibe questions.
Yeah.
These are
These
low
are low
vibe.
vibe
These are low
questions.
vibe questions
You want to be
that we're
high
asking
vibes.
ourselves.
Yep.
We need to
Exactly.
up it.
Up it. We do. We do. But I think
So instead of
honestly,
asking yourself this 10 times today,
0.
maybe 5, and
Maybe
then
yeah.
tomorrow 0.
Yeah. See?
And that
Slowly but surely. Slow and like you said at the beginning though, circling back, the more that you pour into yourself and the more that you do that, the more love that you're going to have for yourself, the more compassion that you're going to have for yourself, the more that you're just going to love yourself. And when you start to slowly love
you're just not
yourself
gonna
more and
settle for
more,
shit
those
people.
those questions are going to start to diminish more and more. You're going to have a higher vibration that you're going to send off into the world and it's going to attract more high vibe people towards you and that's ultimately what you want. I know we're sounding all woo woo wah wah right now,
Totally.
but that's essentially what you want. I honestly, I don't even know if we should share anymore. I feel like
I
that was a good
know.
one to end on.
I think it was a good one.
Yeah, maybe you need to take a little post-cry nap,
I
little
know. I
nappy
think I need to
time.
go make some food and
Yeah.
have a Diet Coke
Yes.
and
Very important
maybe watch a
things.
little bit of Maxton Hall.
Yeah. That's going to make anybody feel good. Food, a Diet Coke, or a Diet Dr.
Thanks for letting
Pepper.
me cry on the internet
that.
with you guys.
Yeah.
Again,
It's a
safe
safe
space.
space. We love you guys. I know. I think
Maybe we'll film another.
Yeah,
and
I feel like
we'll do another.
we
We'll double
want to
up.
try to get to this like weekly,
I
to be
know.
honest. That's the ultimate goal. It's just been like our schedules have been so all over the place. And it's just been seriously since Nash and I got engaged, it's just been like crazy. But we do want to start doing these more and more because there's so many stories that we want to share with you guys. And we just love you guys and we so appreciate you guys sharing your incredible stories. We have more that we want to share too. So I think we're going to hop back in the studio and record some more and start popping these out more and more because we want to keep sharing your guys' stories. And
there's so many, and
there's
they're
so many.
like
I know.
amazing.
And we need to we just love to talk
I know.
to you guys.
We're like, but also I'm not trying to sit here and like be like, oh, read this and then give
2 seconds of
sentences
advice.
of advice. That makes no sense.
We want to like really dive deep into this stuff. And this is like what we're here to do. But we so appreciate you guys sharing your stories. And we promise we're gonna get to more. We will start filming more for you guys.
Thank
we
you
just
for your
love
patience.
This. Yeah. We get our fucking shit together.
We do this.
Yeah, thank you. But we so appreciate you guys. We appreciate you guys listening to this episode. I know we kind of dove deep on some pretty good, heavy, relatable topics for women. You know, I'm like, hi,
So
we love a little cry sesh though. But
crying.
we love you guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with us today. And we'll talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye.